How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. This is Big Day Dave, and this is a map update for Farming Simulator 22 on the mod map Carpathian Countryside. And currently there is a history of a new save game being required. Please take note where you started your save game in comparison to the changelogs available. If your current save game is prior to the changelogs that requires a new save game, then do not update your save file unless you're willing to potentially break your current save. This is for changelog 1.1.0.0, and it reads, "New save game is not required, but there are things that you will need to know before updating. Read carefully. Changes marked with an asterisk will reflect only in new save game." Now, before I continue with the changelog, I will call out which item specifically has that asterisk in it. So there is a new save game required for everything to function properly in this update, but it is not a requirement unless you don't want that specific element to not work on your save. So we're starting with added full support for premium DLC, added new crops, alfalfa, clover, and incorporated into animal feeding, added placeable bunker silos accepting alfalfa and clover, added manure system mod support, added straw harvest add-on mod support, added placeable cow barns variant without pastures, significantly increased production speed for fruit and vegetable processing plant, added icicles hanging from roofs to all buildings on the map visible during the winter, adjusted weather, lowered average temperatures for summer and winter. Temperatures during summer should not go over extremes as 40 plus degrees for the map country. The cold and colder winter, so snow can potentially last longer. Removed liquid manure tanks on the farm and pig farm as standalone pre-placed objects. Instead, they are now part of each animal barn they correspond to. Note: make sure you use or move your slurry stored in these tanks before updating the map, if you do not want to lose it. When loading existing save game, you will get warning/error message in log regarding these tanks. It is normal, you can ignore that. Will happen only once, and that is because it will try to load something that no longer exists. Simplified rails and railroad props collisions. This should help a bit with the performance when you are near the rails or in places such as train station, as well as easier crossing of rails outside the rail crossings. Added enhanced crop growth stages for all crops on the map. Each growth stage now has different height, so the growth looks much smoother. Barley and wheat can be planted in the spring now in March. Some crops do not require rolling now. Now this is the part of the changelog where it requires a new save game, and it is fixed snow mass for pre-placed farm buildings. There will be no more empty, non-snow covered small areas when some buildings were sold. A lot of minor visual gameplay and other improvements, added French translations. And that is it. It is a big changelog, and we're going to go stepping through one at a time. Added full support for premium DLC. So if we take a look at the pause menu here, we scroll to the crop types, you'll see that we do have red beets, carrots, and parsnips. But specifically, if we look at the prices per 1,000, scroll down all the way till we see the parsnips, carrots, and red beets, which is right here. You will see there are prices at various sell points for each one of these. And you can actually buy carrots over at the animal dealer. So that has been included. New crops are included. Added new crops, alfalfa, clover, and incorporated into animal feeding. So if we take a look again at this screen here, you will see alfalfa and clover are two crops that are now available, and it says that it's been incorporated in the feeding. So if we take a look at the animal screen here, you'll see scrolling at the bottom right hand side, you'll see the various new textures there, or new inputs. You got clover and you have alfalfa, both dry clover and cut clover and alfalfa. Next one, added placeable bunker silos accepting alfalfa and clover. Now this one is rather interesting. If I go back to the farm and let's see, go this way, we have our normal pre-built-in bunker silos here at the main starting farm. Now, if you run into them, you'll see it says fill level chaff 0, compacting 0%. Well, what I noticed is that if you look into the build menu under under buildings and silos, when we scroll over until we see the Carpathian Countryside mod specific to this map, which is right here, you'll see two different things. One, you have a compost silo, which allows you to generate the compost, but you will see these now, bunker silos that have these symbols for chaff, grass, clover, and alfalfa, and they'll all convert into silage. It's these 5 right here. Now, I don't know for certain if it's been integrated into these as well, but what this tells me, or at least what I'm going to presume, is that because these take all products and allows you to convert it to silage, I'm going to presume that these base game starting farm ones will also do the same, that you'll be able to put in clover and alfalfa and be able to get out silage. And if you take a look at one that's actually pre-placed, so place this one down here, because why not? If we run into it, you'll see it says chaff is the fill level. So it's one of those where I'm going to presume that this is something that is going to be integrated into the base game bunker silos. Now let's go ahead and sell that off because don't need that right now. Added manure system mod support, added straw harvest add-on mod support, and you can see, if I remember correctly, the last time I came in here, the map was crashing whenever I came in and had straw harvest turned on. But if I go to prices per 1,000, I will show you. Whoops, it's this way. Yes, straw pellets and hay pellets. I have it activated. It is available. I can also show that I have under balers. Where is it? Scrolling to the right. There it is. Straw harvest pack mod. So I am in here. It is activated. I can purchase stuff for it. So that I think tells me that we are good to go with straw harvest on this map. Added placeable cow barn variant without pastures. So if we look under animals and cow barns, scrolling to the left here until we see Carpathian Countryside, which is right here, you'll get these various cow barns. So you have cow barn with feeding robot, cow barn without pasture, and cow barn with feeding robot without pasture. So these two are the same. The first one here and the second one here, and you actually get a little bit of reduced price. Goes from 484 to 470,000. So that's really nice. And then you got the one with the feeding robot, 688,000 versus 674. So that is really cool. And you can see, if we look at the first one here, if I go way out, you can see there on the front side is the pasture. You can see, actually it goes all along the side there. But if I scroll this one, that same building, no pasture. It's all just kind of fenceless. So that's really cool. Significant increased production speed for fruit and vegetable processing plant. Well, if we take a look under productions and factories, looking for the Carpathian Countryside mods, because I come in here with all my mods loaded in, we got to search through all this. Let's see, there it is. The fruit and vegetable processing plant. Let's go ahead and just place it down right there. Perfect. And we'll take a look at the production chains. Turn those off. We've got apple juice that'll create apple, or you'll take apples and you'll get out apple juice and organic waste, and you'll be able to then get a cycles per month of 60, 120. The next one is 2880, 864, 1800, 5400, and 864. So I don't know what the original speeds of these were, but I'm going to take it as these are indeed increased. The next one says added icicles hanging from the roof to all buildings on the map visible during the winter. So that is nice, but nothing to show. Adjusted weather, lower average temperatures for summer and winter. Temperatures during the summer should not go over extremes of 40 plus degrees for the map country, and winter and colder winter, so snow can potentially last longer. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the weather and see what it shows. So I've got this on Fahrenheit, and it's looking like it's not going to be going over 90 degrees in the immediate. And you see September's high 59, 60, 70. We got 28 in December, 24, 32. So all that seems to be relatively mild. Let's see. Removed liquid manure tanks on the main farm and pig farm as standalone pre-placed objects. Instead, they are now part of each animal barn they correspond to. Note, make sure to use or move your slurry stored in these tanks before updating the map if you do not want to lose it. When loading existing save game, you will get a warning/error message in the log regarding these tanks. It is normal. You can ignore that. Will happen only once, and that it is because it will try to load something that is no longer existing. So what they are referring to is on the map, on your main starting farm, you have several pre-placed manure, liquid manure, aka slurry, holding tanks, like this one here. These used to be standalone placeable objects, but now they are tied to their specific barn and building that they're associated to. So this is number 2 and is associated to the number 2 cow barn right over here. Now if we also go into the build menu and we highlight it, you'll see as I go on and off of it, the blue highlight is now also associated to this building as well. If we go over here, there's 2 more. So this one, this is tank number 1 for building number 1 right there. You can see as I scroll over it, is associating it to both. And this is building number 3 for tank number 3 right here. And as again, we highlight over it, the blue comes up and is associated to that building there. So these are no longer standalone. If you destroy the building, you'll destroy the placeable or the non-placeable slurry tank along with it. Let's see. Simplified rails and railroad prop collisions. This should help a bit with performance when you are near rails or in the place such as train station, as well as easier crossing of rails outside the rail crossing. So let's go ahead and take a look at the, let's see, train station, which is right here. And just so happens we have a train coming. So as best as I can tell, a lot of the props and stuff have either been cleaned up or have been had their collisions removed, so they're not actually visible or not taking up actual space in the game. So it's helping to speed up and reduce the need for processing in this specific area, and removes a lot of collisions that may have been affecting performance. Let's see. Added enhanced crop growth stages for all crops on the map. Each growth stage now has different heights, so growth looks much smoother. So now, instead of having more jarring growth differentials in various fields here with the different products, let's see if I can find one where there's stuff actually growing. Let's see if I can hop over here. There we go. So the height of the fully harvestable product here is going to be different than, let's say, stage 1, stage 2, each stage is going to have its own unique height, and it's going to be, less of a shock from one stage to the next. Barley and wheat can be planted in the spring, now in March. So if we take a look at this screen, the crop calendar, you'll see wheat and barley at the top there now has a planting season in March. Some crops do not require rolling now. And again, this next one is the one that requires the new save game. So if you want this feature, you have to have a new save for this to take place. And it says, fixed snow masks for pre-placed farm buildings. There will no longer be empty, non-snow covered small areas when some buildings were sold. So if we take a look at the main farm again, let's go ahead and go to the truck. if you were to sell any of these buildings, I guess based on what I'm reading, what was happening is the snow wouldn't recognize that that's a place that's no longer able to be snowed on, because there was a roof there before, so all the snow would land on the roof. Well, once you delete it, it doesn't recognize there's a roof, but it didn't recognize there was a floor there, so it wouldn't put the snow onto that specific area. And then it says a lot of minor visual, gameplay, and other improvements, and added French translations. That is everything. That was a massive changelog for the Carpathian Countryside, changelog 1.1.0.0. And yeah, that just makes an awesome map that much better. Looking forward to this one. But I hope you enjoyed this update. If you did, please show them by liking, sharing, subscribing, following, commenting, doing all the things the algorithms enjoy you doing. That shows you're engaged with this channel and enjoying the content. And that being said, I hope you have a fantastic day. Take care.